and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 131. Happy New Year! I'm jumping right in today because I'm not really ready to do my new, intro learning segment yet, because I keep bouncing between two different ones that I really like. So I'll get that figured out, but for now, we're going to learn about a mythical creature. Here we go. It's lesson time. Today's mythical creature lesson is the Griffin. Imagine a creature that's a perfect combo of the king of beasts, the lion, and the king of birds, the eagle. That's the Griffin from Middle Eastern and ancient Greek mythology. This powerful blend gives a deep spiritual meaning of power, protection, enlightenment, and emotional balance. So, if these mythical creatures invade your thoughts, it might be a wake-up call for your spiritual journey. Is something blocking your progress? With Griffin's strength and protection, you'll smash through those barriers and soar. And here's the deal. The Griffin can nudge you to look closely at some of your relationships and situations. It's time to figure out what you truly need from them and make things even more amazing in your life. Well, this one feels kind of fitting for the new year. I usually just pick these at random, and I definitely did with this one. And I like the fact that it's saying you'll smash through those barriers and soar. I don't know. It sounds like a good new year thing, like starting fresh and you're going to soar through the whole year. I don't know, I'm being cheesy. But if this sounds like something that pertains to your life or somebody else's, let me know in the comments, and let's go ahead and move on to stories.
This comes from thedealaminute.com.
I grew up in a rural area. Our house sat upon a small hill, quite a bit older, and separated from the brick single-level homes built close together, closer to the county road. I was the youngest of 3 children, and the only boy. Boredom was a consistent for us in the days before internet and cell phones, so we came up with many games and activities to pass the time. If you've caught my other story, hopefully you've picked up on the fact that our home and land around it had a different energy than anywhere I've ever been to this point in my life. One rainy Friday evening, my aunt and her daughters came to visit. While my aunt and mother played games in the kitchen, us youngsters began a night of experimenting with a book of myths and superstitions. We took turns turning circles and saying, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," laying bread and water in front of a mirror to conjure up images of our future spouses, building a Ouija board, and some others I can't remember. Nothing seemed to be working for us, but the last experiment in the book was called "Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board," and my aunt decided to join us for her last spell. Now, my aunt was every bit of 200 pounds, and the oldest of us was 12 and small for her age. My aunt laid flat on her back on the floor and folded her hands on her chest. My 2 female cousins, my middle sister, and I took our places at her sides, while my older sister took a spot at her head. Each of us on the sides placed 2 fingers of each hand under my aunt's body, while my oldest sister read from the book. I don't remember what all was said, but I do remember after claiming my aunt had perished in a car accident, she began saying, "Light as a feather, stiff as a board." We all joined in maybe 4 or 5 times, and my sister said with a voice I had never heard before, "Lift her to heaven now." And just like that, with all of our little fingers, we picked up that woman over our heads. My aunt came out of her trance and became instantly heavy, and we dropped her at 2 or 3 feet off the floor. She hit with a loud boom, causing my mother to burst in to see what happened. The look on her face was utter shock and disbelief, her eyes wide. She ordered her daughters to the family car and quickly left without her normal goodbyes. Just gone. It was a couple months before she would return to our house, and we were no longer allowed to play those games when they visited. So this one is wild to me that it actually worked for them. And I mean, they're just kids lifting up a grown-ass woman with their fingers. And I know for a fact that like these kids had no idea what they're doing, because I was one of those kids one time playing these little so-called games, if you'd like. I mean, nothing ever happened with us. We definitely played Bloody Mary, we as in my cousins and I, at my grandma's old house. And we'd go in the middle bathroom and shut the lights off and then say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. Sometimes I think we had candles, sometimes I don't, just because we were so young, and you know, fire with kids is not the best choice. But nothing ever happened. We did play with a Ouija board one time. It was really my mom and aunts playing with it, but the light as a feather, stiff as a board one, I don't believe we ever played, but I feel like maybe with my friends when I was younger, we tried it, but we were all too scared, so we didn't really do it correctly. And that's with some quotes around it, because like, I don't know. Because when you're young, you're kind of just doing stupid shit, honestly. Because when you get older and you're like, ooh, probably shouldn't have done that. Because you don't know what you're doing when you're young. Like, who knows? Maybe saying the Bloody Mary thing in the mirror actually opened a portal and we never closed it, because God knows we did it like a million times in that bathroom. So sorry to the new owner, but I'm just baffled at the fact that this actually worked. And I would have totally crapped my pants, if I'm going to be honest with you, if we would have done this and it would have worked. Because on one hand, while it seems really cool when you read it, if you really start to think about it and that happening, especially when you're a child, that's scary and cool, but scary. Like, I don't know. It's a mixed emotions for me, because like I said, I've played those games when I was younger, but nothing really ever happened. But like, had they have happened the way they were supposed to, then yeah, that would have been really scary. But anyhow, I'm curious as to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, and we're going to move on to the next story.
This comes from FNAF 2 movie leaks on Reddit.
5 days before this happened, I bought a doll at an antique store, mostly to try to see if I bought a haunted doll. And 5 days later, I decided to spend a night with the doll. The doll was a Raggedy Ann with South Carolina clothing. I still have it to this day. Anyway, I put it beside me and I fell asleep. Then I had a nightmare where I was trying to run out of my bed, but a demonic-looking hand, completely pitch black, grabbed me by my leg and dragged me under the bed. Then I woke up and saw the doll staring into my eyes while grabbing me by the face. I took the doll off me. I'm still pretty creeped out to this day, and I still have the doll. Pardon me, but are you shitting me? You still have the doll. Please tell me it's like behind a glass case or locked up in a freaking box or something, because hell no. It's one thing to have just like a haunted doll who sits on a shelf and like moves a little bit now and then, but this one was grabbing your face. Grabbing your face. Are you for real right now? Setting the dream aside, whatever, the doll was physically touching you and you still have that bitch. No, I have a big fear of dolls anyway, so this doesn't really help. I'm better now that I'm older, but I'm pretty sure the movie Chucky is what made my fear of dolls happen, because I really hate that movie. Ooh, nope. That is one movie that nope, it's disgusting. Oh, but this does remind me, and I might have said this in like a past episode. I don't know. Hell, I might have brought it up here and there along the years, but this reminds me of a doll that showed up at the bottom of my parents' stairs at their house. They still have this house, but it showed up at the bottom of their stairs when I was younger. And I had friends over that day. I asked them if it was theirs. They said no. Maybe somebody is still messing with me to this day and they're just keeping a secret. I don't know. But that doll ended up in the trash and it never came back. Probably not the best place to put a haunted doll, but no. It was a plush doll that was like a foot or more in length. It had blonde hair, maybe blue eyes. I don't remember looking into its eyes. And a pink dress dress. And I can tell you right now, that's not a doll I've ever had in my life. And it was just randomly at the bottom of the stairs. And the fact that I have such a vivid memory of it happening can just tell you how much that kind of scarred my brain. And I'm not freaked out by it anymore. I'm just curious as to how and why it got there. And the older I get, the more I feel like maybe somebody is actually messing with me, because I hated dolls back then, just like I do today. But this story, though, if that doll would have been grabbing my face in the middle of the night, you best betcha. Well, I mean, I already threw it in the trash, so. But you best betcha I would have gotten rid of it right then and there. I don't know how you still have this doll. Well, actually, okay, sorry, I'm going on a little tangent, but I secretly, and I guess it's not a secret anymore, but I secretly want to have like a little collection of haunted things. I just don't want them in my house with my son here. And while some of you are probably like, oh, it's probably fine, no, I would just rather not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just not going to chance it. But I will stop going on. This one completely freaks me out. And I need to know now if there are more stories. This story was written a month ago. So now I need to know if there are more things that have happened with this doll. And seriously, where are you keeping this doll? Are you still out there? This isn't the Chucky movie. But anyhow, if you have a story like either story today, let me know. If you have any comments about anything, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all. Oddballs, thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever podcast platform you listen on. If you have any comments for this episode, comment below or head over to Instagram and comment on this episode's preview. To submit a story or for more information, go to itsanoddworldafterall.com.